Hello, sunshine. Jenny shrank back behind a pillar, wishing she could blend in with the wallpaper, though that was pretty difficult to do in a dress the colour of egg yolk. She didn't know why she'd let her best friend Shirley talk her into coming to their school reunion. She hadn't seen most of the people in the room for more than 15 years. It had all started when Shirley had come back from her holiday with her new man Ian. She was so loved up, she wanted her best mate to feel the same way. You haven't been out with a guy for more than a year, and you can't hope to meet anyone sitting at home night after night, Shirley had said as she plunked herself down on Jenny's sofa and started sorting out her holiday pictures. Jenny couldn't argue with that. She couldn't even remember the last time she'd been out on a date. The children were teenagers now with lives of their own, and they didn't need her as much. Jenny had to admit she had more time on her hands. "Why not come to our school reunion?" Shirley had asked. "You never know. You might rekindle an old flame." "I don't know about that," Jenny murmured. "Don't you remember you had a huge crush on our science teacher, Mr. Stevens? He must be dead by now." Jenny gave her friend a playful shove and said, "He wasn't that old. You're making me feel ancient. I'm only 34. Shirley had been one of only a handful of people Jenny had kept in touch with. But now Shirley had brought it up, she couldn't help wondering what everyone else was up to. Were Mark and Anita, who'd been practically joined at the hip all through school, still together? What had happened to Emma, the self-crowned school princess? Or Craig, the class clown? Then there was little Paul, the kid everyone else used to pick on. "Besides," said Shirley, "don't you want to know what everyone looks like now?" "I'm sure none of us looks the same. No, I certainly don't." "About that," said Shirley, "you can't turn up in your tracky bottoms and old sweatshirt like you usually do. We'll have to get you sorted out." Shirley had launched into Operation Makeover, swinging into action like a general planning a major assault. First, she dragged Jenny off to the local beauty school for an afternoon of waxing, plucking, trimming and squeezing. Jenny hadn't been so poked and prodded since she'd given birth to her youngest, Katie. Then she'd booked Jenny a free makeup session at a swanky department store and an hour with a personal shopper. "Is the outfit for a special occasion?" the sales assistant had asked. "Yes," Jenny replied. "I'm actually going out for once." She'd felt her stomach tighten and the colour draining from her face as the assistant shifted through rails of expensive-looking outfits. But the sales assistant must have seen the look on her face. "Don't worry," she said. "There's a one-day sale on throughout the store today. 50% off everything." 2 hours later, Jenny had walked out of the store, swinging a large, posh-looking bag. During a moment of weakness, she'd given in and bought a bright yellow dress. She'd thought back to what the sales assistant had said. Strong colours are really in this season. And now, a week later, here she was, wearing a dress bright enough to be seen from space. But Jenny had to admit, with its full, squishy skirt, the dress did make her feel glamorous. Best of all, it hid her wobbly thighs and tummy. "You wait," Shirley said in the car on the way to the restaurant where the reunion was being held. "When you walk in, all eyes are going to be on you." "They're going to need goggles then, aren't they?" Jenny said, laughing. At the reunion, Jenny hardly recognised anyone. It was difficult to fit the faces of the spotty lads she'd remembered with the men before her, with their beer bellies and ball patches. Shirley was on the dance floor doing the Macarena with Craig, who was still acting the clown with an ice bucket on his head. Jenny felt like a wallflower. She hardly recognised anyone and felt shy about approaching anyone. She was about to give up and go home when she heard a voice behind her. "There you are, Jenny. I was hoping you'd be here." She turned around and found herself gazing up at a handsome face. "Remember me? It's Paul. I was about to leave when I spotted this vision in yellow. You look like a movie star in that dress," he said. "Oh my goodness," Jenny gasped. "I'd never have recognised you." "I dare say I've grown up a bit since the last time I saw you." He was right there. Paul had been the smallest kid in the class. The other lads used to bully him on a daily basis. She couldn't believe how much he'd changed. He must have had a late growth spurt. There was no sign of the little tyke she'd stuck up for. "I've never forgotten what you did," Paul said. "Yeah, and what thanks did I get? You called me Big Mouth." Paul laughed. Jenny had forgotten about his sparkling blue eyes and lovely smile. "I'll tell you what, "Let me buy you a drink to make it up to you," he said, and winked at her. Jenny felt herself blushing. Suddenly, she was very glad Shelley had talked her into going. As Paul led her to the bar, Jenny couldn't help thinking it was a good thing she'd worn such a brightly coloured outfit. Paul would never have spotted her otherwise.